In this video, we look into the best possible way to mine for netherite in Minecraft. Sections are chapterized, so not waste your time. Alright, so for some minimum requirements, you're going to want to have at least a diamond pickaxe and then have a stack of like a decent food source. The reason that I say you're going to want to have a diamond pickaxe is just so that you can mine this ancient debris. This is the stuff that'll turn into netherite later on, and you're going to need at least a diamond pickaxe to mine it. So then the reason you're going to have food is because when you're mining in the nether, you'll encounter these little pockets of lava. They're basically everywhere and there's no avoiding them. And the only way to not die from them is just eating to regen. So as long as you bring like a diamond pickaxe and some food, you should be good. But you're going to want to add some enchantments to this just so that things go a lot faster for you, and we're going to talk about that right now. All right, so some basic enchantment tips real quick. If we take a look at this pickaxe, we'll see that's an efficiency 2 on breaking 3 pickaxe. This basically allows it to instantly mine netherrack, which is going to be really helpful in the long run because we're going to be able to find as much ancient debris as possible in as little time as possible. The unbreaking 3 part of it is also like really useful because ultimately it's going to allow us to, you know, spend less diamonds overall, which I mean, I don't think anybody wants to spend a ton of diamonds just looking for ancient debris. If you want, you can also get some mending on this. Generally speaking, getting any of these enchantments isn't that hard. I actually just went mining for quartz for like 15 or so minutes. By the time everything was said and done, I was easily at level 30 and could get the enchantments. All right, so let's say that you're satisfied with what you want to take. You have a decent pickaxe, you have some food, and you're pretty much ready to go. The only other suggestion that I would really give to you is just to bring some iron armor and probably like a golden helmet or something like that so that a piglin won't attack you. You're also going to want a sword just in case anything tries to sneak up behind you to kill you, and a shovel so that you can dig out any soft blocks. Additionally, you can also get some blocks for when you initially start mining, but these generally aren't that big of a deal because you'll be collecting a lot as you go. Alright, so once you actually have the right gear and equipment, how do you actually know where the right place is to mine for netherite? Since ancient debris spawns in the same frequency in any biome, there isn't really too much that you have to consider. So long as you don't mine in the basalt deltas or next to a lava lake, you generally should be pretty good. If you want, you can also consider not mining in a crimson forest since they can also spawn mobs in your mining area, but generally these aren't too hard to deal with. Alright, so with some general prerequisites out of the way, we're ready to get into our easiest and fastest method without TNT, and that is the chunk border mining method. If you've brought in your efficiency 2 pickaxe, this is going to be like literally super easy. All you're going to want to do is press F3 and head down to Y level 14 once you've actually found the biome you want to mine in, and then from there you're going to go ahead and press F3 and G again, and you're going to bring up a little thing called chunk borders. Once you get down here, if you don't see this right away, all you got to do is just kind of like mine for just a little bit and eventually you'll find one. Anyways, once you've done that, all you're going to want to do is you're just going to mine between the line, just like this. Like, no joke, that is all that you need to do. Now the reason that we bring these up is because when you mine along chunk borders, you're most likely to find netherite, and that's what actually makes this one of the fastest methods in the entire game to get netherite. One thing I should say, if you have a mending pickaxe and you find quartz while you're doing this, you're going to repair your pickaxe like a crap ton and it's going to cost you way less diamonds. And yeah, that's pretty much this method. And with that out of the way, we're going to go into our less diamond consuming method, and that is going to go ahead and be the bed mining method. But before we do that, I'm going to show you guys one last thing, and that is for the bedrock players that are watching, because I mean, I know you exist, even though like every tutorial in existence forgets about you guys. All you're going to want to do is, if let's say you can't do like chunk borders or anything like that, all you're going to want to do is just kind of do this sweeping method like this. It's not going to yield you the same amount of ancient debris per hour, which is going to be about, I think, 40 for this method, but it is still going to yield you a pretty good amount, and it is still going to be a really fast method for you to get ancient debris. So yeah, that is pretty much that method. Alright, so this next method is actually the bed mining method. This method comes to us from iCraftMC, so I'll link his channel below if you guys are interested. The first thing you're going to want is you're going to want to have a stack or so of non-flammable slabs. You're also going to have a decent amount of white beds. I know for a full inventory, it's like a stack and a half of planks and wool. Once you've done that, you're going to go ahead and press F3 and make sure that you are at Y level 14. After doing that, go ahead and press F3 and G to enable chunk borders. After you do that, you're just going to go ahead and mine out until you find one just like this. You're then going to kind of follow it along until eventually you reach the end of it, and after that you should find a little thin blue line just like this. Once you've done that, you're going to go ahead and mine out 5 blocks in any direction of your choice. So you can mine out here, you can mine out in that direction, you can mine out in this direction, and technically I guess you can even kind of like go this direction as well. For simplicity's sake though, I'm just going to go ahead and go out in this direction right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So once you've done that, you're going to go ahead and mine out parallel to this chunk border just like this. You're going to basically just continue to do this until you eventually hit a chunk wall just like so. After doing that, you're going to go ahead and mine down 1 block jump on top, and you're then going to mine out as far as you can, 1 block in both directions. You'll then try to place a bed as far out as you can. Now with this slab, you should be protected from any explosion damage, or at least most of it, and you should also be protected from any fire spawning on this block. So you'll just kind of destroy those. If you're lucky, you should find some ancient debris after a while. I got kind of lucky and got some on my first try here, so I'm gonna go ahead and collect that. I guess a bonus tip also, something I forgot to mention, if you do find some like ancient debris, one really good thing that you can do is you can kind of mine around it, since sometimes there'll be like some extra just kind of like laying around, kind of like diamonds, if you've ever spent a lot of time mining for those. And yeah, you'll pretty much continue to just sort of like detonate these beds alongside these chunk border walls, and this should yield you about 37 or so ancient debris per hour, which is pretty cool. Also, as a side note, if you're not on Java, you can just detonate the beds 8 or so blocks apart, and that'll be just fine. Alright, so for this last method, we have the TNT Mining Method. This method is by far the fastest, and it's actually a little bit easier than you'd think it'd be. If you have a creeper farm, which should take you about an hour or two to make if you choose to make one, and you have a decent amount of sand just from like mining it, this isn't really too hard to get, and it's also probably one of the funnest and most rewarding ways to mine for netherite in the entire game. To get started, it's pretty easy. All you're going to want to do is press F3 on your keyboard to make sure that you're on Y level 14. After that, you're going to go ahead and press F3 and G to make sure that you have your chunk borders shown. After you do that, just go ahead and mine out to the nearest chunk border that you can find. Here's one right here, and all you're going to do is just mine along the chunk border just like this. You can go for as long as you want, and in all honesty, the longer the better, since you'll just end up having more space to actually put down the TNT once you're done. Alright, so I'm at the end of my little line here. I didn't really make it too long, but yeah, I'm going to go ahead and start placing some stuff down. So you're going to want to have these be a minimum of 4 blocks apart, as they need that so that they can actually ignite each other. As a bonus tip, if you actually turn up your sounds in Minecraft and place a block of TNT on every 3rd step that you hear, you actually should be placing them about 4 blocks apart every single time. This isn't always perfect, but it does do the trick from time to time. Alright, so once you've reached the end of your tunnel, it's going to be pretty straightforward as to what you need to do next. Just go ahead and ignite the nearest piece of TNT to you, and then just kind of find like a good place to be so you don't get hit by any explosion damage. As you begin to set off your pieces of TNT, it's going to be pretty straightforward as you go. You're pretty much just going to walk down this tunnel and just attempt to mine any ancient debris that you see that comes in your way. All things considered, this method should yield you about 82 or so ancient debris per hour. Alright, so once you actually have your ancient debris, it'll be pretty easy to turn that into netherite. All you're going to want to do is head on over to a blast furnace or a regular furnace just like this and smelt it into netherite scrap. By the way, if you don't know, ancient debris takes about twice as long to smelt and also twice as much fuel. So if you want to actually fix that issue, all you're going to want to do is head on over to a crafting table just like this. Put 5 iron on top like that, 3 smooth stone on the bottom, and a furnace, and you can craft yourself a blast furnace, and that'll help you to smelt the netherite way faster. Anyways though, once you actually do want to turn your netherite scrap into a netherite ingot, all you'll need is 4 netherite scrap, 4 gold ingots, and you can craft yourself a netherite ingot. Once you're ready to actually transform one of your diamond tools into a netherite tool, all you're going to need is a smithing table. So to do that, you're going to get 4 planks, 2 pieces of iron ingot, and you're going to craft yourself a smithing table just like that. You can then access the smithing table like this, put in a netherite ingot and a diamond tool or piece of equipment of your choosing. You'll notice that you'll actually keep your enchantments, which is pretty cool. A fun fact about your netherite tool is that it's actually not going to ever be able to burn in lava or fire, so you'll really never have to worry about losing it ever again. Alright, and that is the end of the tutorial, guys. If you want to, please feel free to drop a sub, because I definitely need it right now. I'm pretty down bad for subs. And with that out of the way, guys, thank you so much for watching, and have a good rest of your day.